It's 10 after. I guess we can go ahead and get started if everybody's ready. Does everybody have a copy of the postseason tournament exam?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. If we want to get started on question number 1. R1, R2, 1 out. Batter hits a double, scoring both runners. But during the play, R2 misses third base. After the play is ended, R2 runs back to third base, stands there, at which point the defensive team properly appeals that he hadn't missed the base. Is it A, R2 is out on appeal, R1's run counts? B, R2 is out on appeal, R1's run does not count? Or C, R2 is not out because he corrected the violation before it was appealed? Anybody?
A.
Anybody agree with A?
Yeah, I agree.
So we have a second on A. A is correct. R1 is out on appeal. R1's run counts, and that's because the play had ended. Any questions on that? All right, question number 2. If an assistant third base coach comes onto the field to argue a call at second base, is the correct answer A, the assistant coach should be restricted to the dugout and ejected if he continues? B, the assistant coach should be ejected from the game? C, the assistant coach should be ejected and the head coach should be restricted? Or D, both the assistant and head coach should be ejected? Any takers?
A.
The correct answer is A, the assistant coach should be restricted to the dugout and ejected if he continues. Any questions on that one?
Tom, I'm not following you as far as, I've got MDAO baseball meeting number 1, baseball rules changes.
You should have, do you not have a copy of the exam for postseason?
No, I don't. I'll go along with you. I don't want to hold you up.
If you go to the MHS, or I'm sorry, if you go to the MDOA website
Okay,
and click on baseball, you can scroll down and pull up a copy of the exam that we're using right now.
okay.
So let me know when you get that pulled up. Does anybody else need to do that as well?
Uh,
So again, that's the MDAO
Yes.
website. Click on baseball. And then when you open up the down box arrow, you should see baseball exam for postseason tournament consideration. Let me
Okay,
know when you
Tom.
have that. Got it,
Thanks.
Paul?
No, go ahead. I'll get back to you.
Okay. Does anybody else need to pull that up, or is everybody else good? Hopefully we're good, because that was the emphasis of the call.
Yes,
All right, question number 3. This year, all coaches are restricted from coming onto the field to argue or dispute an umpire's call. If a head coach in third base coach's box begins to come across the field to argue a play at first base, what should happen? A, he should be ejected immediately. B, he should be restricted to the dugout immediately. C, he should be warned not to continue and should be restricted to the dugout if he ignores the warning, and ejected if he does not comply further.
C.
C.
C is correct. Any questions on that one?
You read the time for this test? Where are you? What time did it say?
What was the question?
No, but he's doing both of them together.
Well, we're on the baseball one. I need the softball one.
Yeah, this is the baseball meeting.
Mhm.
All right, question number 4. No one on, no outs, no count. Batter pops the first pitch over the foul line near first base. The first baseman catches the ball in flight. Plate umpire signals that the ball is fair and signals the ball fair and begins to signal and call the catch as the base umpire loudly and aggressively calls and signals a foul ball. What is the correct answer here?
The softball test. I just got on the baseball test, so I don't know where the softball one is.
Tom, can you
This
mute everyone?
is a baseball meeting. The softball meeting is on a different site.
Okay, softball means on a different site.
Well,
Okay.
tell the other
Here.
thing.
There were 2 separate links, one for baseball, one for softball.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, everybody, I'm gonna jump in real quick here. Yeah, so both meetings are being recorded and they'll be uploaded to YouTube for those who want to view both links. But Tom, I just wanted to interject real quick, and I was gonna hop in Ryan's other meeting,
Yes.
is that next week's meeting is not gonna be on Monday night. And that's because of apparently a basketball game's being played that evening. And so we are moving it to April the 5th, virtual
good.
meeting as well.
Thank you.
All right. Are we, I just wanted to check in to see if there's any association or logistical questions or anything, or are we all set?
I think we're good.
All right. All right. Thanks, everybody. Sorry about that. Thanks for bearing with
You're
me.
good. Thanks, Shane.
Okay, how do you get to the softball meeting?
If you go back to the initial invitation, there was a baseball link and a separate softball link. If you got onto this meeting, you selected the baseball link. You need to go back, close out from this meeting, go back and select the softball link.
I did that at front, but it didn't work, so we'll try it again.
Are there any other softball people here that need to exit? We good? All right, going back to our question, is the correct call A, the call of foul ball always takes precedence. The batter returns to bat with an 0-1 count. B, since the ball was caught and the out will stand. Or C, the plate umpire has a better luck with fair foul situation. Since the call of foul ball kills the play, the batter is awarded first base.
That was a tough one because he caught the ball in foul territory. But looking at the rule and just kind of gleaning from the casebook, I decided to go with A.
Anybody else want to interject?
I got B.
B.
The correct answer in this case is B, since the ball was caught, the out will stand, B. But yeah, that was a tough one. Hopefully we won't run into any of those block charge, fair foul discrepancies this year. Make sure you know whose call it is, when it's your call, when it's your partner's call. Remember, we can always go back and call a foul ball later. We can't call a foul ball fair later. So make sure we use discretion on that.
I
Tom,
think-
could you get, this is Paul again. Could you
Yep.
give me the answers for 1 and 2 again?
Yes, 1 is A,
Okay,
2 is A,
thank you.
3 is C, 4 is B.
Correct. Thank you.
Okay,
Yep.
everybody caught up?
Yeah, I think number 4, at least there was an emphasis on the pre-meeting where you would decide, if there's a ball between first and the plate, that's your call. If it goes beyond the base down the line, then and the base umpire's over there in the A, that he might call that one.
Correct. The proper procedure is for the plate umpire to have the ball all the way to first base, the base umpire to have the ball past first base.
Mm-hmm.
So it would never be the base umpire's call with the ball in front of first base.
Hmm.
Is everybody good on that one?
Yes,
All right. Number 5, no one on, 1 out, no count. Oh, we just did that one. I'm sorry. No one on, no out, no count. The batter hits a line drive directly at the base umpire. The ball lands on the foul line. But because he was trying to get out of the way, the base umpire called the ball foul, even though the plate umpire is feverishly signaling the ball fair. The batter would have easily reached second base on this ball down the line. Anybody want to weigh in on the answer on this one? Do I need to read the answers or do you all have it?
Yeah, I got it.
I've got it.
Hey.
Yeah,
I chose A.
I chose A.
Well,
I
because
agree.
at the moment it was called foul and touches the ground, the batter returns to bat with an 0-1 count. That is correct. So again, we want to be careful on calling foul balls because again, we can always go back and fix it, but we can't undo a foul ball call. Everybody got that?
Yep.
All right, 6. During the third inning, the plate umpire noticed the pitcher has some athletic tape around both index and middle fingers of his pitching hand. This is illegal equipment. The head coach is restricted to the dugout. This is an illegal foreign substance. The pitcher is ejected from the game, or this is not legal. The tape must be removed, but there's no further penalty.
C.
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 C is correct. Any questions on that one?
No.
7, R1, 2 outs, no count. While leaning over and looking into the catcher for signals before going to the set position, the pitcher shakes off the catcher with his glove hand without making a natural motion associated with the stretch on his delivery. A, this is a balk. B, this is legal. C, this is an illegal pitch.
Hey. I got B.
B.
So we got 1A and 2 Bs. Anybody else?
Go A.
2 A's and 2 Bs. Anybody want to break the tie?
I'll go A.
B.
All right. A is the winner, but B is the correct answer.
Wow.
This is legal.
Guys, the key there,
Never came set.
he has not been set yet.
Yeah.
He's still in the stretch position. That's the
Yep.
difference in that answer.
Yep.
If
Well,
he
you
comes
know.
sets and if he came set and did that, then
Then
it's a
we'd have a
ball.
different story. Correct. Thanks, Gary.
Excuse me though, any movement to home plate while he's on the plate is a balk. If he makes a
That's-
motion to home plate while he's on the pitcher's mound, that's a balk.
But John, that's the same thing. They look at it the same way as they do with a shaking the head no or yes. Because you're not making a movement to the plate and you had not come set yet. He's still in a stretch position taking the sign. That's the difference.
So if he's looking at a signal and rocking his arm towards home base, that's not a What is- balk.
He still has not come set yet. So that's
No,
the,
don't
that's what they
come
used to
set.
call the gorilla move. But he still has not come set yet. That's not what they're talking. They're just talking, waving his glove to give me a new sign.
Yeah, he's waving his glove. It's not the ball hand.
And there's no intent to deceive. It's just,
Right.
we all know what it is. Everybody good with that?
So you're saying it's B?
The correct answer is B, is legal. Legal. All right. Number 8, R2, 1 out, 2-2 count. The batter swings and misses the next pitch in the dirt. The ball bounces off the catcher, rolls up the first base line near the edge of the on deck, the dirt circle. While running to first base, the batter runner accidentally kicks the ball into the first base dugout. A, this is interference. B, this is interference with the batter runner out. R2 is out for interference with his teammate. C, this is no violation since it was unintentional.
It's C.
D.
A.
A.
All right, we're all over
Got
the
A
place
too.
here.
C.
So we got a couple C's and a couple A's. Anybody else? Anybody? Anybody want to break the tie?
I'll break the tie. C.
C is correct.
Really?
No violation because it was unintentional.
That's kind of tricky, trying to get into
Yeah.
intent.
We got to be careful with that. C is the correct answer there. Anybody need any further information on that one?
It has to be intentional, guys.
Correct.
The batter runner has to intentionally kick the ball, or else you're penalizing the offensive team for a bad pitch that the catcher blocked and didn't handle cleanly.
Number 9, bases loaded, 1 out, 1-1 count. Attempt to squeeze, the batter bunts the ball high in the air over third base line. As the pitcher comes over to field the ball, R3 accidentally runs into him, causes the ball to hit the pitcher in fair territory and ricochet away. All runners advance 1 base. A, there is no interference because the contact was unintentional. The play stands. B, interference on R3. R3 is out. The batter runner is awarded first base. R1 and R3 advance because they were forced by the batter's award. Or C, interference on R3. R3 is out. And the batter runner is also out since the interference prevented a double play. This is a tough one.
I'll say C.
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 I'll
C.
go with
The,
Couple of Bs and a couple of Cs. Anybody? Anybody else?
C. C.
So it sounds like it's pretty close, but Gary, what do you think?
Hang on, I'm on the phone.
Oh, the answer
way to
here,
get out of that one.
yeah. The answer here is C, interference on R3. R3 is out. The batter runner is also out since the interference prevented a double play. So again, we're not going to reward the wrong team for a wrong act. Everybody good with that one?
All right, goodbye. Just remember, yeah, you got it, Tom. Just don't reward the team that did a wrong act. If they took a double play away.
Yep. All right, number 10, R1 and R2 and 2 outs. Batter knocks a base hit into the gap. R2 was off on the hit, but R3 held up to see whether the ball would drop in. Just after R2 crosses the plate, the batter runner passes R1 between first and second. R1 is out for passing. This is a force out for the third out, and R2's run cannot score. The batter runner is out for passing. This is a timing play. R2's run scores. Who wants to step up?
I'll go B.
D.
B.
B.
B has got it in a landslide. B is correct. 11, R2, 1 out. The batter hits a sharp ground ball that gets past the shortstop. R2 must avoid the shortstop now, positioned on his knees in the path of the runner. However, he does so by leaping over the fielder. A, the obstruction occurred first and takes precedence. R2 is protected to third base and the ball remains alive. B, this is an illegal act by R2 and supersedes or nullifies the obstruction. The ball is dead, R2 is out, the batter runner is awarded first base. Or C, this is an illegal act by R2 and supersedes the obstruction. R2 is out because the ball is left in play.
A.
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 So A in a landslide.
Yeah.
All right, A.
Anybody like C?
I did.
I like C too.
Anybody want to explain why we like C?
I can give you my personal explanation. Remember, he's on his knees, he's not prone.
Right?
Guys, high school, they're protecting everybody. They don't want anybody diving or leaping over another player, and that's that defensive player is prone.
Yeah.
Prone is at least 3 points on the ground.
Yeah, okay.
So if the batter runner is smart, he's not going to leap over. He's going to try to go around and
Go around.
And he has obstruction.
draw the obstruction that way. But we never want people leaping or diving over a player who is not prone on the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, it's all about safety. Safety first. So C is the correct answer for 11. 12, R1 and R3, 1 out. Batter hits a sharp ground ball that hits the base umpire in the middle of the infield. Just hope this never happens to you. Just before second base, baseman has an opportunity to field the ball. A, the umpire is treated like part of the field, the play stands. B, the umpire interference, all runners are awarded 1 base. C, umpire interference, a double play is awarded and no runs scored. D, umpire interference, the batter is awarded first base. R1 is awarded second base, and R3 must return back to third.
D.
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 D is correct. An easier one there. That was nice. 13, it is obstruction when the defense tricks R2 to advance by having the pitcher, middle infielders, and center fielder pretend the ball was thrown away on a fake pickoff attempt. True or false?
False.
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 False is correct. 14, R1, 1 out, 2-2 count. A balk is called on the pitcher for not coming stopped in the set position as he delivers the pitch. The batter swings, hits the ball over the fence for a home run. A, balks are dead balls immediately. B, the ball remains alive.
A.
Balks are
A.
dead.
A.
A.
Dead ball.
A.
High school is
A.
A. Ball becomes dead immediately. 15, in the top of the sixth, with the home team leading 4-3, the game was called due to rain with runners on second and third. Since the inning was not completed, the game is suspended to be completed on a later date. B, the game is over unless both teams agree to suspend the game and resume it on a later date. C, the game is over, the home team wins. There is no option for the teams to suspend the game.
C.
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 D,
D.
A lot of Bs.
I said C.
It's C. C is the correct answer. So we have leagues that that continue suspended games due to darkness, but not because of weather. Correct?
right,
Okay. 16, it is illegal substitution when a player for whom the DH is batting enters the game on offense in another position than the DH occupied. B, a player eligible to re-enter the game does not do so without being reported to the plate umpire. C, a player re-enters the game in an incorrect position in the batting order. D, none of the above.
D.
Anybody else?
B.
B,
B is correct. Remember, we must report all changes to the home plate umpire. 17, who has the authority to request an intentional walk? The catcher, the head coach, the pitcher, or A and B?
A and B.
A
B and B.
and B.
A and B is correct. 18, which offenses are eligible upon the first offense? The on-deck batter begins taking practice swings in the opponent's team's on-deck circle. A batter leaves the dugout for the purpose of participating in a physical altercation. A coach uses video replay for coaching purposes during the game, or all the above.
All the above.
Yes.
B.
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 B. B is correct. The coach can use video replay for coaching purposes during the game. All we do with the on-deck hitter is send him back to his proper
Other side.
on-deck circle. Any questions on that? 19, when the starting pitcher fails to face at least one batter, he may later return to pitch. He may not return to pitch, may not return to the game in any capacity, may move to another position, but may not return to pitch, must face one batter, even if it is to issue an intentional walk.
C.
C.
D.
C.
C.
Pretty easy, that's
C.
correct. 20, the ball becomes dead immediately when fielded with an illegal glove. True or false?
False.
Couple of trues and a few falses. Anybody want to?
Wait. True.
Paul?
I would think it's
Paul Hayner, what do you think?
Yes, sir. I don't have that right in front of me. Could you go over it again?
Ball becomes dead immediately when fielded with an illegal glove. True or false?
True.
You're
True.
close.
50-50.
What,
huh?
guys,
Correct answer is
go back to
false.
think about it this way. How many,
yeah,
why would we protect the team that did something wrong by killing
Yeah.
it, by killing it immediately?
You're gonna let it play out and then deal with it. Everybody agree with that?
agree,
Agree.
21, the pitcher cannot pitch but may attempt a pickoff when the plate umpire is giving the do not pitch signal. True or false?
False.
That's
False.
false.
false,
That is false. 22, a pitcher may turn his shoulders to check a runner while in contact with the pitcher's plate while in the wind-up position, set position, both, or neither.
Neither.
Either.
B.
Set position.
Can
We
be.
got a couple of Bs and one D. Anybody else?
No.
John Howell. What do you think? Anybody?
B,
B is correct, set position. Any questions on that?
No.
23, the pitcher takes his position in an illegal hybrid position on the pitcher's plate with a runner on first base. A balk should be called as soon as the pitcher assumes the illegal position. B, a balk should be called as soon as the pitcher attempts a pickoff and starts to deliver a pitch. C, an umpire may call time and correct the pitcher, both B and C.
B.
B. I have B.
You got 3 Bs. Anybody else?
See,
3 Bs and 1 C. They both sound like they could be right.
A,
Gary?
C, because I've talked about this with somebody.
Yeah, because I remember Gary mentioning that a couple of years ago at the Southeast Michigan Clinic.
Remember,
oh,
hey, Courtney, thanks for the promo. But
Mhm.
remember, guys, this is high school. They want us to correct them if possible.
Right. 20,
okay.
the correct answer per the test is D.
What?
And some coaches get pissed off when you correct pitchers, but
Yeah.
I do it. I correct pitchers rather than call a balk.
Hey, Tom, did you take this already?
I did.
And you got that right with B and C?
I got it right with B and C. So,
Okay.
Wow.
I haven't taken it yet, but I discussed this with somebody.
yeah,
And he said he answered B and C and A. Or not A, but B and C, and still got it wrong, but I'll go with the B and C.
but again, the state sometimes makes mistakes and.
That's why I was
changes
asking if you took already, make sure.
Yeah,
that's
but
where
I
it
did
came from.
take it and
Tom,
got
would you,
30 out of 30.
Tom, would you review what the hybrid position is, please?
Yep, that's when your front foot is outside the pitcher's plate towards first base to give you an advantage on a pickoff attempt.
Hmm.
Which
That's-
is not legal.
Because I guess I always try to make sure that the pitcher has his back foot parallel to the pitching rubber in the set position, because he can only do one or two things, the set or the wind. It has to be crystal clear. It can't be a
Right.
common.
Right. Gary, do you want to expound on that at all?
It's the best way I can explain the hybrid without getting into details and drawings and pictures and everything else. It's somewhere between a set and a windup. Somewhere between a stretch and a windup that you don't know where they're at. High school, I'm sorry, guys, I'm not gonna, you gotta basically make sure their chest, shoulders are towards home plate. Look at their feet, make sure their feet are not, you don't have one parallel to the pitcher's plate if they're in a windup and one straight on. That's gonna be the hybrid. Basically, if you look at it and everybody else looks at it and are not sure what the pitcher's in, correct them. It's the best way I can tell you to stay out of trouble.
Yep. Because too often people let that go and then you're into the 8th, 9th, 10th, 15th game of the year. And they've been pitching that way all year long. And now you're trying to correct them and it's screwing them up.
Or worst case scenario, bottom of the 7th and a big thing and you let it go the whole game
Right.
and then it blows up on you.
Yep.
Should you zing him with a balk call after you've given that warning?
If you've tried to correct them, Courtney, I would say yes. But again, according to the answer, if they take a move out of it, whether it's the first time or not, get it as a balk. And I guess I can agree with that because you're taking away the advantage of the defensive team. They were trying to take an advantage of a hybrid position.
Let me just, and again, I'm going to try to clarify that. But again, I took the test and answered D and got it right. So for what that's worth.
I'm saying you're 100%, Tom. Like I said, I went through this with somebody else that took it.
Yeah,
Well, who I would consider better at rules than I am. And like I said, the only answer he didn't come up with out of his two, and he was too lazy to look it up after the first one,
right.
is he did not answer B and C, and or if he did answer B and C and said he got it wrong, but I'm good with them correcting it, and it's a B and C because it makes sense.
But again, I'll just try to send out a confirmation on that. But,
You guys keep going. I'm gonna look the rule up they're so nice to give us the rule 611. You guys keep going. I'll see if I can get us an answer before
right.
we're done.
All right. 24. The pitcher is permitted to take signs from his coach in the dugout and assume the position on the pitcher's plate and immediately go into his delivery. A, true, B, false.
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 Right. Everybody take the rules meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Point of emphasis is that a pitcher still has to pause as though he's taking the sign from the catcher, as to not to deceive the batter. So B, false. 25, with a 3-2 count on the batter leans into the pitch outside of the strike zone. A, the batter is out. B, the batter is awarded first base on the hit by pitch. C, the batter is awarded first base on ball 4. D, the batter remains at bat with a 3-2 count.
C.
C.
E.
C.
So
D.
we got some B's and some C's. Where was the pitch?
Outside.
Outside the strike zone.
So if we have a 3-2 count and the pitch is outside the strike zone,
All
what do we
four.
probably have?
All 4.
Ball 4.
Even though it hits him.
Even though it hits him, because it's still going to be dead, and then you're either going to have a dead ball, strike 3, or a dead ball, ball 4. And in this case, we're going to have a dead ball, ball 4. Which you would hope it would be close enough that you could have a dead ball, strike 3, but this pitch was clearly outside the strike zone, so we have to do what's right. 26, R3 stealing home, no out, 1 out, no count. Following the pitch for a ball, the batter interferes with the catcher as he attempts to tag out the runner. The runner is out, the batter is out, both are out.
The runner is out.
Runner's out.
Runner's out.
Runner out.
The runner is out. Good call, everybody. 27, regarding appeals when the ball is dead. The coach may make a dead ball appeal. Any defensive player with or without the ball may make a dead ball appeal. A dead ball appeal is not possible, both A and B.
Both A and B.
A and
Both A and B.
A and B.
D, both A and B is the correct answer. Very good. 28, the batter runner misses first base and is between second and third when the ball is thrown out of play. He may go back and legally touch first base if he does so before advancing to third while the ball is dead. He may physically go back but cannot legally return to touch the base and is subject to being called out if the defense appeals properly. C, he should be called out immediately by the umpire if he attempts to go back and touch first base.
B.
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 E.
C.
All right, the correct answer is B. The ball is dead, so it's out of play, so it's too late for him to go back and legally touch first base. However, in order for him to be out, the defense needs to properly appeal. Everybody good with that? B is the correct answer. 29, if 2 runners are touching the same base when neither is forced to advance, if both are tagged, the preceding runner is out, the following runner is out, or both are out. If the following runner is tagged first and the preceding runner tagged second.
B.
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 E.
B, right. B is correct because the base belongs to B or the base belongs to
The guy that was on
the
third.
guy that was there because the
Yeah.
following runner is not being forced to that bag, so it is not his bag. So B is the correct answer. 30. Home team has Jones listed as the PDH. After Jones hits a double in the second inning, the head coach approaches the plate umpire and asks to insert Smith as a courtesy runner for Jones. Smith may enter the game as a courtesy runner since Jones is the pitcher on defense. Jones may not have a courtesy runner used in his place because he is the DH on offense. Smith may enter the game for Jones, but only as a pinch runner and would become the new pitcher, or both B and C.
B.
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 C.
A.
We got some A's, some B's, and some C's. Anybody else? Anybody? Tom Habits? What do you think? You must be sleeping.
In front of me, so the numbers. Sorry.
What do you think about this one? We've got some A's, some B's, and some C's. Home team has listed Jones as the PDH. After Jones hits a double in the second inning, his head coach approaches the plate umpire and asks to insert Smith as a courtesy runner for Jones. Smith may enter the game as a courtesy runner since Jones was used as the pitcher on defense.
So it is both.
Jones may not have a courtesy runner used in his place because he is the DH on offense. Smith may enter the game for Jones, but only as a pinch runner and would become the new pitcher, or both B and C. Gary?
I'm sorry, I'm still looking up the one we had.
Oh, okay, no problem.
What one are you on?
30.
If he's the pitcher and DH,
Yep.
then you can courtesy run for him.
The answer is D, both B and C. All right. Any,
Really?
anything that we need to follow up on besides 23? And Gary, you're still working on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Tom, can you review 19, please?
Yes, 19. The question on 19 was when a starting pitcher fails to face at least one batter, A, he may return to pitch later. B, he may not return to the game in any capacity. C, he may move to another position but may not return to pitch. Or D, he must face one batter even to issue an intentional walk. And the correct answer was C. May move to another position but may not return to pitch.
Thank
Are we
you.
good? Are we good with that one?
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yes.
You guys, I just got out of basketball. And I remember last year, I talked to Paul in regards to this designated hitter situation, and I'd like to be, how can you say it, reviewed, up to date. Give me some information about the designated hitter and how is it used.
Are we talking about a DH or a player DH or both or what?
Both. All the above.
Well, the traditional DH is batting for
I understand the traditional
defensive player.
DH. Okay, I understand the
player
traditional.
DH, a player DH can be replaced at one of the two positions and remain in the other position.
Say that again.
A player DH. So let's say you're DHing for your pitcher is your player DH.
Correct.
You could replace him as the pitcher and he could remain as the DH
For the pitcher.
for the new pitcher.
Now he has to, the DH, the player DH has to always bat at that location, correct? If he's the fourth batter, he's the
Correct.
player DH in that location.
Correct. You can't change.
That's where he
you
can't change his
order in
location.
the bat. Right.
Okay.
Yep. Does that explain it?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, it just gives the coach more options to use if you have a pitcher, for example, who's a good hitter, but you know is not going to pitch the full game, it gives him the opportunity to remain in the game as a DH when you replace him as a pitcher.
But as a player designated hitter, he can still be a DH, but he can play any position in the field. Can he
If a
substitute any
DH
position?
enters the game as a defensive player, then you no longer have a DH.
Okay, so once he substitutes to another position, they lose the DH.
Correct.
Okay.
Everybody good on that?
Yes.
Gary, anything to add?
I'm still looking up I'm gonna go with your answer, Tom, since you got it right. 20. Because I have not been able to find it in the case book or the rule book on 611 or 612.
I'm going to open up, if you just bear with me for 1 second, I'm going to go to MHSAA. Let's see. My MHSAA. I don't know if it'll still show up here or not. I'm going to attempt something. Official services. Exams. All right. And I'm going to look up question 23. All right, this is my official exam on the MHSAA website. Pitcher takes his position in an illegal hybrid position on the pitcher's plate with a runner on first base. And when I go over to my answer, it says correct, D, both B and C.
I'm good with it.
So that should be, unless they, and we all know in the past they have sometimes corrected answers, but when I took the test, I answered D and got it correct.
And it would make sense. You correct it before it happens, but if it
Right.
happens, you
Right.
can't reward the defensive team. So
correct.
it
And
makes a
I've
lot of
always,
sense.
yeah, and I've always been in the habit of correcting, and some coaches get upset because they want you to block in and run from third base, but oh well. I would rather correct than reward, unless you've tried to correct and it still happens again, like you said.
Anytime we see a pitcher in a high pred position, we should stop the game then and correct.
Absolutely. If more people do that more consistently, then we won't be running into those issues down the road.
And get it when they're warming up.
Yep, the first time you see it. Again, if you get it in warm-ups or in the first or second inning, it's way easier than trying to get it in the fifth, sixth, or seventh.
All right.
Any other questions? Anybody got anything? Well, thank you for your participation and
Tom, there is a question in the chat box about number 23.
oh, okay.
That's the one I'm still trying to find.
Let me pull up the chat box.
How about number 30?
Thirty is the new DH rule. Which if I'm going to answer that right now, I would answer that, and apparently I'd be answering it wrong. Because I say you can courtesy run for the pitcher as he is the pitcher and DH. And it is a speed up rule. So 3-1-4.
Again, when I go down to my test questions, on number 30, I answered D and got it correct. Was there anything else in the chat box that I need to address?
Tom, this is Paul. Great
Yes.
job as usual.
Oh, thank you.
I got to roll.
All
See you,
right.
Tom.
Anybody else got anything?
If I wanted to find
No.
more information about the prone player, what would I
Yes.
do?
Again, he's not prone, he's on his knees.
Yeah, but what kind of threw me off with that questioning was I guess that missing word prone.
Right. Do you have the question number?
Oh, number
Is that
11.
11?
Yeah.
So the shortstop is now positioned on his knees in the path of the runner. So again, he's not flat on the ground, so nobody can be jumped over, leaped over, or hurdled over.
Yeah.
Because of safety violations, that's always going to be the precedent.
I'm just wondering where the word prone is listed, because that would have stuck in my head looking at it.
Not sure, but that's not in the question.
Is it in the rules though, somewhere?
Mike, do you know, Gentry? I don't know that if it's. in
I'm
the
sorry,
rules.
what was the question, Tom?
So he's going back to number 11, where the shortstop is on his knees in the baseline. And the question was, again, he thought
Yeah, what's the
somewhere,
question?
somewhere his interpretation was the word prone was used. Well, it's not used in the question. I don't know if there's any mention of anything.
Oh,
in the rule.
I think Gary brought that up in his explanation.
Yeah, he did, but I was just wondering if it's listed anywhere. Maybe it's listed in the college.
It could be listed somewhere, but again, if the player is not flat on the ground, kind of like in football, if you're not flat on the ground, you can't be hurdled.
Right.
So you can't be vaulted over in baseball either. Both of them are safety violations. And safety takes precedent over anything else.
The rule says jumping, hurdling, and leaping are all legal attempts to avoid a fielder as long as the fielder is lying on the ground. It doesn't say prone, it just says lying on the ground.
Okay, thanks, Tim.
Thanks.
And
Anybody else?
to confirm the pitcher DH, you are correct.
Thank you.
In 3-2, it's 100% correct. Even though it's a pitcher DH and they're still considered a player DH for courtesy runner.
Everybody got that?
It is D.
All right, well, thank you, everybody, and have a good, successful season.
Thank you.
Tom.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.